Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV for another round of the Sim Racers Asia GT1 and Riley Championship. I'm Alex Simpson. My co-commentator for this race is the one and only Conrad Ventor. Welcome, Conrad.
Oh, thank you very much. It's nice to be back again.
Yeah, I think you've done a couple of these races with me in the past. Obviously, everybody will recognise Brenton. He's busy working, but yeah, familiar face still.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting a bit of GT1 action around Road America. I think for myself, Road America is one of my favourite tracks on the iRacing service. So hopefully we're in for an exciting one.
Yeah, it should be a good fit. I would think the Corvette's probably got the high ground this week over the Astons. Those three great big long straights definitely going to play into their hands. Although the Astons will be very, very quick through the midsection, especially perhaps like around the carousel. It seems to be through the corners the Aston has the high ground. We've got about 4.5 minutes left until qualifying results are up. We will bring you those results shortly, but I just wanted to have a quick run through all of the championships that are going on. Obviously last week was reverse grid and everything else, so lots went on last week. Unfortunately but was unable to catch it at the time, but here's how the standings are looking after that week. So Daniel Leet is leading the Clubman's Championship with 211 points, followed by DK Lee, Mark Lang in third, Martin Houston in fourth, followed by Matt Shinovsky in fifth. Matt's on 162 points, so we're looking at about just over 50 points for first to fifth at the moment in the championship. So it's pretty close in there for the Clubmans. Anything can happen. Behind that are about another 30 points behind, so really I think it's mainly down to the top. If I'm honest, the top four, even Matt's got a tough job to break in there, but you never know what can happen. Focusing our attention quickly to the Nations Cup. Brenton's not here to gloat this week, fortunately, but Australia have 1,247 points. Their closest rival is less than half that, on 582 points. Very, very close, which is Europe. Second, but very close from behind. So best of the rest, really, that's where the battle's out. Thailand, Indonesia and Philippines are on 544, followed by Korea and Japan, who are on 353. Singapore rounds out the top 5 on 279. Pro-Am Championship, Yuka Savati, not the best sort of couple of weeks for him. Didn't score that great as well in the last round, but still maintains his lead in the championship on 351 points from Mick Hammond in second place on 325. Good few weeks for Mick now, really starting to close in on that championship. Jason Bentz didn't score last week and subsequently dropped down to third place, followed by Lazardri in fourth, Borden in fifth. Scott Gray, of course, has missed the last 4 rounds, so I'm not sure Scott's going to be back for this season. Perhaps a little bit of a switch of focus back towards the GT3s with the iRacing GT3 Endurance World Championship being announced and the qualifier season coming up in just 3 weeks' time. Final championship standing just to quickly look at is the Race Team Championship. Eurasia Sim Sport on 850 points, pretty comfortable lead from Green Hornet Racing on 789. Laser Racing JFF team there, 760 in third. They're coming up quite strong, I have to say. The last 3 or 4 weeks they've consistently scored sort of in and around the 100 to 150 mark, so definitely closing in. They're going to be a force at the end of the season. The Privateers all grouped together are actually in fourth place, and then the second JFF team, the GT Omega sponsored team, that is on 635, rounds out your top 5. Our focus driver of the day is Matt Shinovsky and Adam Utri, if Adam's on the grid. I haven't seen. No,
I can't say that I've seen him.
Yeah,
either.
so no, he's not shown on the drivers list. So it'll just be Matt today. I think we have a driver that was competing in the GT Academy series as well. Missed out, unfortunately, finished second, but he's not in and around as well. Yeah, so we won't worry about that. It's not too much news to bring you. We've got about 30 seconds left of qualifying now. Do you want to who's still out there on a lap? Who can we just quickly bring up?
I think the top 10 guys are all sort of covered by a second. Currently, Joshua Rogers is sitting in first place. He's in the pits. Second place, Joshua Burden has just jumped up into second place.
He just finished all that.
Yeah, and he's gone back into the pits as well. Third place is currently occupied by Yuka Sivati. Fourth place, Anthony Winkleman. It looks like he's still out on a lap. Fifth place is going to be Fanny Luzardi. Dwayne Burns in sixth.
Winkleman lost it. Canada corner. He might have been on for improvement there, but in the wall.
Yeah, Winkleman's back in the pits as well now. Muhammad Ishak is still out on a lap, so he might well jump another place or two, but he's currently sitting in seventh. Everybody else is back in the pits, so that's going to be Jason Bent in eighth place, Michael Hammond in ninth, Daniel Leeds 10th, Nathan Grouden is in 11th place, 12th place is Chandra Young, Philip Janssen in 13th, Jessica Freitchek in 14th place, 15th place is DK Lee, 16th place is Matt Chanowski, Mark Lang 17th and Steve Horn in 18th, but they're still out on laps as well.
Mark's coming into the pits. Actually good to see Mark's livery. We give him a bit of a shout out, tried to get him something sorted for last time we were on air, and it's great to see that Jake from the Evolution Racing Australia team, I think, painted him up a livery. Looks fantastic. Is Mohammed going to get an improvement?
No, he's gone back in the pits as well, I think.
Invalid
that's
lap.
That's
Valid
all done
lap as well.
Yeah. In that last minute, the only change that popped up was Stephen Horn jumping a place above Mark Lang from 18th to 17th. So they switched around. Just rounding up to the runners, Shane Reynolds is 19th, Brian Monga is in 20th place, Osata is in 21st, Phil White in 22nd, and then a couple of guys who didn't post the qualifying lap, Matthew Wall and Ben Darley brings up the 12th row. Yeah, Josh OK Rogers, he's in first place. Top 10 is all covered by top 9 is covered by 8/10 of a second. So that's all really close to each other.
Yeah, I wonder. I didn't catch what Josh was driving. Do we know if he's in the Corvette as well? I think the Corvettes might well have taken top 3 spots here.
I was trying to have a look. I didn't catch him out on track. He's in the Aston Martin, it looks like.
Oh, is he? So there you go. There's a surprise for the books. But for sure, it'd be a bit of a Aston Martin a Corvette featured race, really. But there we go. I'm just waiting for everybody to form up on the grid. Of course, we've got ourselves a pace lap around here as well. Is it a full lap around Road America? I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a full lap indeed.
Can be that can be a pain.
Yeah, it takes a while. There's a couple of the official series at Road America this week. The GT1's being one of them, and we've been running a bit of the Grand Touring Cup. So in the Solstice, which is possibly one of the slowest cars on the service, so doing a pace lap in that car around here is torture.
It's not much quicker when you're full speed, are you? What are you on about?
Absolutely. I mean, you're doing your best just to keep up with the Jettas, which is the one of the other cars in the series.
Waiting for the final few drivers to make their way. Phil White, Ho-Chan Lee's not out there, Martin's not out there, Ben Darley's not out there, and Philip Johansson.
It looks like about 2 or 3 guys that we're still waiting for. A couple of guys who joining on the back of the grid.
They're obviously going to be starting from pit lane. Yeah, they've just missed the start. Clock timer counted down, so guys going to roll away here.
Yeah, I can fully understand a couple of guys not wanting to risk running all in the traffic down to turn 1. It's been from the couple of GT1 races I've watched around here this week. It's easy to lose the cars, and then the back end comes around with a concentration of cars like we have in this race. If you're somewhere in the middle towards the front, it's a lot of metal to be bent.
Road America's notorious as well. That first lap, the run down to start finish line, the walls are so close. Track surface as well. You obviously on the right, there's just no runoff at all, and then it's just what 2 or 3 meters to the left on the grass there. Whenever there is an accident, it just sort of funnels back towards the track, and it's always a big one. There's never there's never a small accident on the first lap. When we're at Road America, it turns into quite nasty scenes very, very quickly.
Yeah, there's a couple of places. Turn 1, turn 5 again, and the best place of all, where you see the biggest crashes coming out of the carousel through the King down to Canada Corner.
Yeah.
And it's especially on the first lap or 2, that's where the big one happens. Hopefully everybody can get through there without incident today, and we can see most of the 24 cars make it to the finish.
Big shout out to all the viewers. One of our co-commentators, Mr. Andrew Woodhouse. He's on there at the moment. Skiving from work, I see, Andrew. But just I don't know if anybody wants to know the results of the Formula 1 qualifying. I can keep it quiet. If they don't, tell me on the chat. Or Conrad, if you don't want to know, tell me and I won't say anything.
Yeah, that's all right. If we have somebody out there, who wants to know what happened, they're more than welcome to drop the bomb. I'll be sitting down and watching my Kimi moment in the second part of qualifying anyway.
There's a small delay for it to come over the chat, so I'll wait for anyone to type back and tell me to shut up and not say anything, because they've got it on record right now. I think I've been given. I won't said anything at this point. Wait a moment longer. We're just approaching Canada Corner. Still a little while to go. Fashion. I'll switch back to the other screen, and of course the results have gone off the screen. But that's just, it's suffice it to say, there's nothing new in regards to the front row.
Oh, I don't think that's any of a surprise. If you looked at free practice one, I mean, first part of qualifying, those 2 Mercedes, they were well clear of everybody else on
Hamilton
on the hard tyre as well.
Yeah, Bottas managed to get 3rd, then Grosjean, which was the surprise, and then Perez. So good top 5 actually.
Oh,
here we go. Anyway, I'll shut that off. Don't want to be distracted anymore.
The safety car is about to come in. The festivities around Road America is about to commence.
Here we go. Sim Racers Asia GT1 Championship. Racing here at Road America. Great start from Josh. The positions are all changing around already, so just trying to funnel our way into turn 1. Both Joshes got a great start. Winkleman up into 3rd place as well. Oh, Josh just a little bit out of shape coming out of turn 2 there. He's going to lose a couple of places maybe, I don't know. There was also some battles further back. Yuka got an absolute shocking start, and he subsequently dropped down to 5th. But Burns just ahead of him, we could see he was slow out of turn 2 and wasn't able to capitalise on that. And Yuka again being very sort of well, he's giving a lot of places away at the moment.
Yeah, he's dropped down to 7th now, just being passed by Jason Benz. And yeah, not a perfect first couple of corners really for him.
Getting a question being asked about the cars, whether one is faster than the other. We are expecting the Corvette to be the faster of the 2 cars here today. Certainly got the straight line speed, but we'll see how it pans out. Obviously P2 and P3 on the grid in the Corvette struggling big time. I know that the Corvette used to struggle a little bit more on the colder tyres, so just maybe let's give these a lap and we'll see how it turns out. Josh actually flying away at the end, Josh Rogers, so he's got a 1.7 second lead already. Looks like Steve Horn, oh very close going into the into Canada corner there, and tucked up behind the GoDaddy car of DK Lee.
Yeah, Fright Check just past Lee, and well, I think it was Canada corners.
Oh, Bence is dropping. Bence is dropping down the order. Bence is around.
Last corner.
Yeah, so Jason Bence in the Laser Tools, JFF, Aston Martin had a little spin. Let's take a quick look at that back on replay, see exactly what happened. Did he get any help at all, or was it just a straightforward spin? It's easy to lose it on that glass corner. Very underestimated corner. You can you got to get on the power early, but you just get a little bit out of shape. Oh, he lost it on the way in, and it's just one of those horrible slow motion ones. He does catch it, and then of course he gets the death wiggle and just snaps back the other way.
Oh, we've already got 2 cars in the pits. It looks like Shane Reynolds came in straight away at the end of lap 1 to make his required pit stop, and we've also got Sata in the pits. And it looks like here's a small bit of a damage situation. He's been in there for.
Gonna have a quick look at Shane, see if he just has a quick stop. We're still on the replay at the moment. Let's just see if it was just a stop and go, like a scheduled stop as part of the rules. A bit stationary for a bit longer than he'd have been hoping for, but it was indeed. Right, back to the front. It looks like Josh Borden and Anthony Winkleman are having a little bit of a fight, and Borden's off again. In the carousel. We just caught the aftermath of that. He comes out just behind Lazardri. Again, I'm going to take another quick replay and see what happened there, because him and Winkleman were just 1/10 of a second apart going into the carousel, and then all of a sudden they so we got Winkleman just going a little bit wide there, and then they were side by side. Oh, there's just a little bit of contact right through the middle of the carousel, and yeah, if you're on the outside of that, you do one-way trip to the gravel trap, I think.
Yeah, it's sort of nobody is. There's no real accidents or big crashes going on. It's most of the offs at the moment is kind of self-inflicted. We've got Lazardi in the pits as well.
Fair few drivers deciding to jump out of this early then, I think, get themselves out of the pack and try and put some lap time in. So that's Steve Horn just putting a move on DK. Yeah, I was having a little look, but nothing happening. These two have been fighting for a couple of laps.
Lazardi on the way again and out of the pits. It looks like through the whole pit stop process you're losing about 32-33 seconds.
On board here with Steve, side by side with DK into the braking zones. Oh, there's massive incident behind. Who was that? That might have been our it is one of our highlight drivers of the race meeting. Matt Shanovsky was caught in that. I want to say Jason Bence, I think it was Brian that was involved, and someone else as well. Again, let's just take a quick look at that one back, because I think the moves that were going on ahead really caught some of the drivers out a little bit, and they were all late on the brakes and just yeah, just got it all wrong behind. Oh, who?
Yeah, Brian Monger just
Oh.
completely outbraked himself going into that corner, and
It was Brian who caused all that, wasn't it? Just took out another 2 cars with him at the same time.
yeah,
God,
he
he's-
caused Dolly Jr. and got on the grass and took out another car as well,
Right,
which
back-
was that was Shinosky. And Jason Benz came across all of that, and at least he managed to make his way through there safely. I mean, seeing stuff like that kind of makes you understand why a couple of the drivers managed or decided to come into the pits early. Just remove yourself from the SPAC racing, put yourself in some clear space, and do your own thing. Put in good laps on your own, clean air.
Exactly. If you're up front, you know, you got the clean air. The first few cars there, really not got too much to worry about. They can just get on with their business. But if you're in that mid pack, you really don't want to be talking about the mid pack. There's a little battle going on between Young and Frashek there. Frashek just concedes the place a little bit in the braking zone to well, they call it turn 5, but I think everybody knows it as turn 3.
Shane Reynolds is in the pits as well.
Just a splash and dash for Reynolds. He wants, obviously, another one that wants to get himself out of that. Another green Hornet car. Looking at Daniel Leet. He's closing in on Nathan Groden as well. Daniel in the Mad Cow livery. Hasn't got his teammate around with him.
Well, there's a couple of incidents on the first couple of laps, and I've seen quite a big spread in the field rather quickly.
Looks like I might have spoilt the F1 qualifying for Scott Stevens as well. Scott, you're too slow in typing, mate. Sorry. Hopefully you knew it was coming, so you put your fingers in your ears or something. But yeah.
Will Maldonado crash though?
Oh, of course. You got any other questions about the series that we're watching? Yeah, post away in there. We'll take a quick look throughout the race. Any other generic questions, iRacing, racing related, or anything like that? We'll give you our opinions. We're not afraid. Just having a look at the battle that's starting to form up. Actually, this is Michael Hammond. He's got Safati behind him and Borden ahead. So started to get a little bit tasty now. Just a second and a half separating them.
The lap times were all pretty close. Burden did a 2-minute 2.9 on that last lap. Hammond did a 0.5 and Sivati did a 0.4. So yeah, they're just sort of coming together nicely. But yeah, Joshua Rogers is the quickest car at the moment, and he's pulling away at the front with a nearly 4.5 second gap. Somebody we might want to keep an eye on is third place, third and second. They're separated by about a half a second. Dwayne Burns and Anthony Winkleman.
Yeah, let's take a very quick look at that, see how that's starting to form up. Burns, I haven't seen him too much in the series, so new face for me. Doing a good job out there right now.
Sorry Alex, Michael Hammond just got a great run coming out of the last corner and up the hill on Joshua Burden. It almost seems like that Aston Martin just needs a little bit more grunt. Yeah, towards the end of that straight.
Oh, it's not over. He's kept it in there. That's a great move.
Yeah, he did well to keep hold of that. You could see that Corvette just starting to inch away as they came to the end of the straight.
Oh, he's a bit vulnerable now, though, surely with the slipstream behind. Keep an eye on this now. Just didn't quite get a good enough run off of turn 2 there. Late on the brakes, but can't make anything happen. Yes, a good move there for Hammond.
All of that was going on. We've had Gisurati made his way up into 6th place. I'm sure he was a bit further back, wasn't he?
No, he's been behind. He was tucked up behind Mick for a few laps, so it was Mick was in a Corvette sandwich. Now he leads it. So
yeah, see, I was thinking about that battle for 2nd place. My apologies.
Hearing word that Bobby Jovanovic will be back for the next race as well. As our co-commentator rightly pointed out, don't forget to tune in on Thursday nights for the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship powered by iRacing. This series being covered on Motors TV as well. 19 weeks, 1 hour highlight packages going out every week. So yeah, don't forget, if you're in the UK, to tune into that. I think it was also in a lot of European countries as well. So do us all a favour and let's get the viewing figures up while it's on TV as well, because we need TV to start covering our events. And yeah, pretty awesome. But yeah, watch the live broadcasts as well over on the Apex Racing TV channel. Those are Thursdays, 7:15 GMT is.
Yeah, Philip Janssen did a move on DK Lee on that last lap as they were coming into the carousel, and then Janssen seemed like he made a little mistake coming out of the last corner, and with that decided to take his pit stop as well. Yeah, Janssen pitting from 14th place.
We've had Lazardri, Reynolds and Bentz now in. Lazardri closing in the back of Matthew Wall. Matthew made his debut a couple of races ago now for JFF, just getting up to speed in the car, doing a stellar job, just keeping out of trouble as I've seen him do in all of the previous races. Oh, what's going on? Young, just Chandra just dropping down the order. I had a thing coming out of turn 5. Let's have a quick look at that. Is that one of those horrible slow motion ones where you catch the inside dip, where the sort of the soil's been worn away from the curb and it's very bumpy there? Let's just have a look on board right now, see what he does. Oh, he missed the apex. It's just well.
There was all sorts of wrong in that corner.
Just yeah, that's how you don't take turn 5. Too much speed, back end just popped out there.
Yeah, see, it didn't look like he was gonna run that wide coming out of the corner. Just possibly just a little bit too early, and a corner later, the guy in front of him, DK Lee, at the very next left-hander, did exactly the same thing. Got the car around, tapped the wall. He should be all right. Got Joshua Burden in the pits.
Yeah, there's talk on the chat that he might have had a bit of contact. He did have a bit of contact, didn't he, through the carousel, and he might have a little bit of steering damage based off of that. So, well, that's the quickest pit stop we've seen. 0.4 seconds.
Obviously, that steering just needed a bit of a whack with a hammer. All sorted out.
To answer the question on YouTube as well, it is a mandatory pit stop. Don't have to take tyres or fuel. They do have enough to make it the whole race, but they do have to make their way down the pits at some point and come to a complete stop and start again. So yeah, as you saw there, Warden very much on the limit of that. Mark Lang closing in on Steve Horn. Get a better look at Mark's livery. Come flying through the carousel, great shot there. Such an amazing corner. Doesn't matter what car you're in, it just it truly does push to the very limits.
Yeah, it's so satisfying when you get the corner right as well, and you can just get on the gas nice and early, coming out of the carousel, and the transition into that straight before the kink is so smooth, and you get such a run out of it that it's great. I mean, that part of the track and along with Canada Corner is probably my favorite bit of track on iRacing.
One of the Mad Cow cars coming into the pits. That's No, it's not. Who is that?
We've got
Sorry.
Daniel Leet in the pits from Mad Cow Racing. Joshua Rogers has just made his pit stop as well.
Yeah.
So that's
1.7.
Winkleman has inherited the lead from there.
Yeah, Leach still just bugging down the pit lane. The one thing about Road America pit lane, it is so long.
Yeah, it literally takes forever and a day to get your pits out again.
Yuka's lost a little bit of ground to Hammond here as well. He was right on his tail, but 1.5 seconds is the gap now. So, although the front guys now pretty free to run, do what they want to do. Where did well, Zardri was fairly up there, wasn't he, in comparison to Rogers? Yeah, Rogers way away. Got to see where the first of the pit stops was. That was it, really.
Yeah, it looks like Rogers, he filtered out in 10th place. Lizardi is was 16 odd seconds behind him.
Burns and Winkleman, that gap hasn't really changed all race, sat just under the 1 second mark.
I know one thing that is happening at the moment is Rogers has come out of the pits and he's found himself behind the likes of Mark Lang, who's just run wide in Canada Corner, and yeah, Steve Horn's just let Rogers through as well.
That was pretty quick. Didn't waste any time in getting through those. Cost him anything really to the guys ahead of him on the track.
We've got Burns. Burns has passed Winkleman as well. Winkleman's dropping. Winkleman dropped all the way down to 4th place.
Yeah, Winkleman's recovering to the track from turn 1. Let's have a look. That must be an accident or something there. Driver, he's not under any real pressure. Oh yeah, he's just run it wide. Oh, he's hit the wall. That is going to be, well, we have to get it back to the pitch. You can see the damage on the front right. He's lucky that the whole front end hasn't just disappeared off that car, to be honest. It doesn't look good though.
Yeah, that was a big whack.
Right after the pit stop as well, so you can either choose to take a tow and wait 2.5 minutes, or he can try and drive it around, see if he can get quicker. It looks drivable-ish, but yeah, definitely some damage there. DK Lee and Matthew Wall. This is a battle for 14th and 15th place.
Yeah, the big question is with Winkleman now is if he comes. Has he been in for his pit stop yet? It doesn't look like it. So he'll still have his fast repair left, which he can use and get that car panel beaten in a couple of seconds. So a big crash, lost him a few positions, but shouldn't be race ending by any means.
Apparently we just missed something on camera. Not sure who it was. Matthew Wall struggling all of a sudden out there. Going a little bit wide through the carousel.
I was watching Matthew a little bit in qualifying before the race, and it just seemed like he wasn't too comfortable with the track. There's a couple of corners which caught him out a few times.
Battle really starting to hot up for third place now. That's between Yukasvai and Michael Hammond. So just half a tenth of a second. These guys haven't pitted. Neither has Burns ahead of them as well. So we've reached the halfway stage as well.
So the top runner at the moment, who's already made a pit stop, is Joshua Rogers. Sorry. Lazardi has just jumped Winkleman through the pit stops as well. So yeah, Winkleman's now running in 13th place. I assume from here on in it's going to be damage limitation for him.
Noski's had some issues out there because he's dropping back as well. Just lost a place to Lazardri and Borden, I think there. Saw him recovering back to the track. Daniel Elite in the Mad Cow car closing in on Matthew Wall. Oh, Wall gets a little wiggle going into that tricky downhill left-hander before the carousel. Manages to keep it pointing forward.
It's not the first car that I've seen get a bit squilly coming through the carousel. I'm wondering, maybe somebody's on YouTube and they're watching this and they drive these cars on a weekly basis. Maybe they'll be able to tell us how the cars cope with the tires through the course of a race. But yeah, a lot of guys sort of just back in, getting a little bit loose through the carousel and also Canada corner.
Great battle here, and Leet's got Wall there, got a good exit coming out of the out of Canada corner there, and Wall was all on the curb in there trying to get it back onto the track without losing too much time there, but in the end I think a bit of pressure got to him. Noski into the pits after his issue. He hasn't pitted yet, so he'll take this pit stop right now. That'll be him. Still second and third place, continue to fight.
Yeah, we're just sort of sitting around having or waiting for the pit stops to play out.
Sure what's going on with trading paints today, but it's not updating the liveries quite properly. You can see them keep flashing and wondering why. That's basically why it keeps trying to do it. There's one I think it keeps failing on, so always a pain. Yeah, I'm just going to turn it off because well, causing it to blink all over the place.
Oh, just looking at my timing screen, it looks like Joshua Rogers has played this perfectly. The closest car to him has already made a pit stop as well as Joshua Burden, and he's about 13 seconds behind. Rogers is only 21 odd seconds off the front running car, which is Dwayne Burns. And like I said, yeah, you need about 33 seconds to complete your pit stop here. So he's once everything is played out, well, providing he keeps it on the track and pointing in the right direction, he's going to have a massive lead.
See how as we see Josh just coming past Yuka now. Yuka's coming to a stationary. How quick is his pit stop? 0.4 of a second. Yeah, getting that nailed so you're stationary for as short as possible time definitely is tricky, but some drivers really have got that down, and that's put Yuka ahead of Borden as well. Borden doing some pretty quick lap times out there, keeping up with Rogers, I have to say. So that's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Matthew Wall and Shane Reynolds very close as well. Shane's had his pit stop. Oh, coming out of turn 1 there and almost some contact. Wall back to the inside for turn 2. Decides better of it. Just gets on the brakes. Doesn't want any part of that. And there's a good little battle forming up ahead of them as well. That's Frashak Lee and Leet.
Yeah, Lee and Leet has been they've been with each other for a little while. As Leet goes up the inside of Lee, going into, we'll just call it turn 4 for the time being.
Yeah, just hearing words back from your question there, Conrad. Tyres, no problems whatsoever. Wouldn't even expect them to fall off or anything like that. So guys are good to go. Push as hard as they can even. At some point the leaders are going to have to come in. I mean, Rogers up to 3rd place now.
Yeah, Michael Hammond and Mohamed Isak is just coming to the pits. Hammond's on his way again, it looks like. He's had a cracking pit stop. He's gone in and out of the pits in just under 32 seconds.
I have to say, I think Yuka's pit stop was slightly quicker though, wasn't it? So, because he was tucked up behind... Borden, was it? Or
yeah,
was
he's just ahead of him now. You see all the top guys. Total time spent in the pit lane. Michael Hammond was just a fraction under 32 seconds. Suvati right on 32 seconds. Budon did a 32.1. So all really close to each other. I mean, out of the top 10, we've only got 3 cars still to make the pit stop, which is 4th place at the moment. Steve Horn is one of them, Nathan Grouden in 2nd place, and Dwayne Burns in 1st. And Rogers is closing up on them every single lap. So he'll be back in the lead, no problem, once those 2 pit.
Yeah, we might not see those guys pit until the final couple of laps. They've got some clear track ahead of them right now, so might as well just use it. There are some battles forming up behind them, so it might play back into their hands. Talking of the battles, Winkleman closing in on Zavri after his issues. Obviously he's got his car repaired. He'll be kicking himself. He'd have been in a really strong position without that incident. And then Frashak there in 12th place, closing in on Leet.
Yeah, DK has just been a little bit slow the last couple of laps. It's 205s, 206s. Last lap was a 207.
He dropped that because he was right with this battle that we were watching. You can see Lee in the background there. He's dropped a good, like I say, 2 seconds off to that. So. Yuka, well, he was as close as I've ever seen him, but don't look like he got a very good exit out of turn 2, so he's dropping back from Mick, but still only 0.4 of a second going down first of the back straights. Rogers now only 2.4 seconds behind Nathan Groden, so I wonder if Groden will pit this time by. Won't want Josh coming past and potentially holding him up a couple of seconds.
Yeah, just looking at the lap times, if Grouden pits now, he's gonna filter in back onto the track somewhere around Lazardi and Winkleman.
Yeah, that'd be interesting actually, just to see if he can just stay ahead. That would have to be a very quick stop, mind you.
That crash Winkleman had actually did cost him a lot, didn't it? He was running first, well, second or first place, and at the time when he crashed.
Yeah, fortunately he hadn't pitted, had he? So he still had to do his pit. So he had to just trundle around, of course, very slow that lap. But he got himself a fresh car with the repair. Now he's, yeah, 9th place, closing on an 8th. I'm not sure he's going to get much further than that. We've only got 13.5 minutes to go, and the next car up the road from Lazardri is a further 8 seconds, so that's probably going to be as high as Winkleman's going to get. Hammond all of a sudden closed in on Horn here as well, so Horn had a 2:05 flat lap that time, supposed well, against Hammond's 2:03.142, so nearly 2 seconds faster, and 2:03.5 for Yuka there. So Hammond round the outside. They are teammates, I believe, so no real issues there, and actually Horn just lets them both go.
If DK Lee has made his way into the pits as well, he was stationary for a lot longer than you would have expected. 6-second stop.
Yeah, there's a couple drivers that have had long stops. Mark Lang was another who stopped for, let's just bring up on screen, 16.4 seconds, and then Mohammed as well, 17.8. So not sure what they're doing different. Maybe fresh set of boots, or splash of fuel. Maybe they miscalculated the fuel, I don't know.
I did see somebody, I think it was Mohamed Ishaq, I think he took tyres as well.
Battle on screen. Josh going past Nathan. No real defence for Nathan. Didn't fight it at all. Didn't try and cover the line. He knows that they're on completely different strategy. Still needs to pit. There's no point in fighting it, losing any time at this point. Got a chance of a podium potentially. Well, no, sorry, he hasn't. As he's going to come out. Yeah, well, he's still looking like a top 10, isn't he? So.
Oh yeah, it might be tight when Anthony Winkleman, who's currently in 9th place, will have Grada in the pit stop, and then the next one, 10th place, is Ishak. He's not. I think he's within that pit stop window as well.
Haven't spoke much about our race leader at the moment. Burns out here, doing a great job. 10 minutes to go, well 11 minutes to go, sorry. Still needs his pit stop, so can't see him picking up a win unless something happens to our P2 sitter at the moment. But he definitely has a good strong chance of coming out at the moment. Could be, well, I think it would be a net third at the moment. He's 33 seconds ahead of Mick Hammond, so comes out in front of Mick. It's going to be close.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job, hasn't he? He's kept his nose clean, put in decent lap times, and just made sure he's opened a decent gap there, give himself a chance of at least 3rd place at the moment. Oh, mind you, Groudon's still got a pit as well, so he's looking at a 2nd place.
Ah, you're right. Yeah, sorry, I missed that.
Yeah.
Yes, whether or not he can get out just in front of this Mick and Yuka battle.
I'm just trying to pick up any battles that's currently going on the on the track. It all comes back every time. It's the same one. Ciavati making a move on Michael Hammond. And he's got the move done going into turn 1.
Good exit from Hammond, though. He might have a look back into turn 2. Does. Oh, Yuka.
I was thinking about it.
I think he's got that covered, actually. Got over enough. Not so much that he compromised his line. The difference in speed. Not an awful lot of an advantage if you're in an Aston slipstream in a Corvette there. Just a couple of K. Oh, Yuka goes in a bit deep. That's going to give Mick the opportunity, and they touch just a second there. Mick up the inside in that terrible left-hander uphill, and all that hard work Yuka's put in to try and get that position for the best part of about 6 or 7 laps. Just all undone just because he went in a little bit deep into turn 3 there. Another close battle out there as well between Frashak and Leek, and it looks like Leek's conceded that position there.
Winkleman's just climbed another place as well. Another 2 places actually. He's passed Lizardi and Burden up into 7th place.
Yeah, Burden's still having issues running in the 204s, so some problem for him.
He's going to have Lizardi for company very soon. Lizardi is in the mid to low 203s, so nearly a second there. Burden's car just doesn't look very settled coming through the corners.
Seven minutes to go.
Quick round in the pits.
Yeah, had to come in at some point. He's going to make it now. Let's see where he drops down to. Good stop, 1.3 seconds. It's away. Look at all the traffic that's just streamed past there. Not a sight you want to see.
Yeah, he's come out in 10th place. Yeah, he's got a good gap back to Freitag.
Yeah, we said he might get a top 10, but we were a bit unsure whether or not he was going to come out around Lizardri. I mean, they're going down the straight just ahead of him. It's not that far ahead, but it's enough, I think. Looking at about 5 seconds there. Just 6 minutes to go. He's never going to close that gap up.
We've got Hammond past Ciavati again. These two have just been at it all race long, haven't they?
Good hard racing. Both drivers have pitted. Well, actually, the whole top 4 now have pitted. So, because Burns is in. Where's Burns going to come out? Burns already come out.
Out in 2nd place.
Yeah, just as you said, really.
Yeah, he's got a 5-second gap back to Hammond as well, and the more Hammond and Ciavati is going to fight each other, the more comfortable he's going to be able to settle back into that 2nd place without any real pressure.
Of course, Burns was on the tail of Winkleman, wasn't it, when Winkleman had his accident, so best to show where Anthony would be right now had he not just slipped up early on in the race. Very comfortable podium position. Again, Yuka trying to nail his exit onto the start-finish line. I think this was a good one. You can see the gap slowly closing. Keep an eye on the kilometers an hour difference between them. Much larger slipstream effect when you're although he had a little lift, but yeah, much larger difference in the slipstream effect there as well. So 7 or 8 kilometers an hour at one point. Before I think he looked like he topped out or something. Didn't look like a lip, maybe a top out.
Yeah, there's possibly not that great an incentive to overtake on the main straight. Good possibility that she's just going to get repassed on this run down to turn 3.
Little too far back. Any other battles going on there? Daniel Leet still trying to get back. ahead. Frashek will stay with this action right now though.
Burden seems to have picked up the pace a little bit. He's back into the low 203s. Lazardi has just dropped off the back of him a little bit. And yeah, Winkelmann is fast closing on Steve Horn. Horn didn't have a great lap last time around. He did 205.2.
Yeah.
While Winkelmann is 203.1, so over 2 seconds caught in that last lap. Just
I'll keep an eye on the live timing just while we quickly take a look at Winkelmann trying to close this gap down to Horn. They look like they're going to get any closer on the live timing. I'll jump back to that. What the lap time difference are between Winkelmann and Horn. There's a mass. Actually, you can physically see the gap coming down. It's a lot closer now than what it was just 6 or 7 corners ago. Those of you interested, don't know what the series is or anything else like that, head on over to iRacing.com. You can join and sign up today, get 3 months for the price of one using promotion code PR-BSRTC.
Now Winkelmann just took another 1.8 seconds out of Horn on that last lap.
Yeah, 204.5 for Horn. Bring up the sector times actually, people can see that. Yeah, so 204.45, 202.7. So not much difference in the first sector. It's all really about the second sector. That's where all the time is lost. A 57 against a 55 in there. So.
I think from watching a bit of the Formula One this weekend, I'm pretty sure you can sort of call Road America the Spa of the United States. You've got those first third of the track, which is really fast, along with the second bit, and then in the middle part you've got all these all the corners where Winkelmann seems to be catching up at the moment.
Yeah, a few little battles starting to form up. 9th place, 8th and 9th. Doesn't look like it's going to close up to Lazardri. Just a minute to go. Leet still tucked up behind Frashek, nothing going there, and Davati still closing in on Hammond. If anything happens, we'll jump to one of those, but they just all seem to be quite a consistent gap apart at the moment.
I mean, they've only got a minute and a half remaining, so I mean, it's the next lap.
Yeah, where's Roger's just gone through the line, so this is going to be the last lap. The white flag will come out with about 30 seconds to go, I think so. I fully expect that he'll have the white flag. Savati very close. Savati, surely this is going to be a move that will do it for the last lap. He's very late on the brakes. Hammond just sweeps across and shuts the door. No, no cigar there for Savati. The fat lady's not singing though, and I'm just busting out all those rubbish little sayings. But hey,
yeah, he's well. That was a chance. The only other place I think he might get a run now is out of the carousel down to Canada Corner. But he's going to have to work very hard in the middle part of this lap to get himself within
Steve Horn's in the
sort
pits.
of within striking distance.
Not sure what's going on with Steve, but he's had to pit. Oh, he hadn't pitted, so he pitted on the last lap, so we missed that. Leet close as well. Lazardri close to Mohammed as well. Let's just take a quick look. Any of these guys? Davati's lost a lot of time. He's dropping back even more, 1.2 seconds there. So perhaps he overcooked his tyres off camera just for a second. That battle for third place is done and dusted. Nothing's going to change there. White flag has indeed come out. See it on the screen right now. Rogers is coming out of it's Canada Corner. So just one more corner to go then for Joshua Rogers in that Rat Corp. Aston Martin there hasn't put a foot wrong all race long. Fully deserved victory. Moves across to celebrate with his pit crew. Has a little weave. Congratulations to him. Fantastic drive. Burns is going to come across in second place. Had Anthony Winkleman for company, or he was pushing Anthony for best part of the first half of that race. In the end, finishes a very comfortable second place. Mick Hammond, do you know what? That is close at the line. Just a 3/100ths of a second.
Yeah, Winkleman did a great job to get up to fifth place after his incident. I'm just looking a little bit further back in the field. We've got Freitag chasing lead really hard, just coming into the last corner. I think he's just a little bit too far back to try and make a run up to the start-finish line. Yep. But the guy behind them, Jason Benz, I haven't got him down as making a...
Yeah, I have.
He's done a pit stop. Yeah, I've got the first couple of laps.
So no position changes at the end there whatsoever. Mark Lang coming across to finish in 14th place as well. Good all-round result, I have to say. Good racing throughout. Lots of different little individual battles throughout that race. Just what we like to see. Road America doesn't half produce, good battles. And I'm glad we've been, and we go here regularly.
Yeah, it's always a lot of fun to race around this track. I really like it. I know a lot of people complain about the long straights and the draft you get off them, but yeah, I like the track.
Once again, I'm going to apologise, guys. No interviews this week. Just like the Sim Racers Asia Grand Prix 24/7 series. Going to wrap this one up pretty quickly. Just before we do that, Conrad, can you just take us through the final race results?
Yeah, we've got our winner, Joshua K. Rogers, who also was our pole sitter. In second place was Dwayne Burns. Third place, Michael Hammond. Fourth, Yuka Siovati. Anthony Winkleman in fifth. Joshua Burden in sixth place. Mohammed Ishak in seventh. Fanny Lazardi in eighth place. Ninth place is Nathan Grouden. Daniel Leeton 10th. Freitag is in 11th. Ben's made it up to 12th. Shane Reynolds in 13th. Mark Lang in 14th place. 15th place was Steve Horn. Machinaski is in 16th. DK Lee coming home in 17th place with Matthew Wall in 18th. Then we've had a couple of non-finishers. Philip Johansson was 10 laps down in 19th place. Ben Darley Jr. 13 laps down in 20th. Chandra Young 16 laps down in 21st. Brian Monger 19 laps down in 22nd place, and then the last of the starters was Mo Asata 22 laps down in 23rd place.
Well, thank you, Conrad. Great race here in Sim Racers Asia. We won't be covering it next week. Like always, it's Checkered Flag Interactive next. That'll be coming from Interlagos. The next broadcast for us will be at Mosport. Very, very different track, Conrad.
Yeah, it is a very, very different. I can only imagine these cars as well. The couple of corners that spring to mind is 10-2 and Moss Corner. Oh, good luck to these guys, because I want to be in their shoes.
Not at all. Right, thank you very much for the help and coverage this week. I greatly appreciate it. Brenton should be back in a couple of weeks' time. Yeah, for everybody tuning in on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. Spread the word for the series. Try and get your buddies back in. Like I say, if you want to take part, then by all means sign up to iRacing. Use the promotion code PR-BSRTC. That will get you 3 months for the price of one. You can get yourself the Aston Martin and a few of these tracks as well on a bulk discount, so that doesn't cost you too much money to get involved. Speak to Mark, he'll get you into the league. But yeah, thank you everybody again. Mark Lang for organising it, and as always, sorry to the drivers, no interviews this week. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully we can have a chat with you then. But from us right now, it's farewell. Enjoy your evening. weekend, no matter wherever you are in the world. See you next time.